Hello friends, how is everybody doing today? I wanted to do a quick video today to show you guys. In the last two videos I had done recently, masterboard videos in which I showed you process, ideas on how to use them. I showed you how to make clusters. Using two types of clusters making from your masterboards. So today what I wanted to do, I'm actually working on clusters today. So I made a whole bunch of these. They're mixed paper. They're mixed paper and fabric clusters. So there's all different kinds. This is paper and fabrics, and so I want to share with you guys the different process of making these. You guys could make these in bulk, right? So they're just white paper. You can use any paper. So these are the plain paper ones. And then these are the colored ones with just little itsy bits of pieces of fabrics. So, and then you could make your rustic ones, your vintage ones with all different types of just, fabrics and laces. So let's get started. I was a little busy bee today, and these are just little ones that I've already cut up to show you. So we're going to do the gluing method today because a lot of people said that they don't sew, but these have all been just sewn, and they're just little pieces from another cluster strip that I have done previously. So, and then another option for you guys is you could make long strips, long clusters, and these I just had sewn down, and it doesn't matter if you glue them or not, but I've just sewn them down, and these are great for to use as belly bands if you have, let me show you, have a signature here. You can use them as belly bands on one of your pages. You can sew along the top, or you can glue, either way, but look how pretty that is, right? So you can make the long clusters, you can make the little bits of clusters. So that's just another option for you. So these are super fun because, guess what? You are using so much paper and fabric. These are awesome Scrapbusters. I actually have a page here and a signature I was working on. So I did the belly band. This is just paper clusters, and then I use a little cluster that I had sewn onto a little notepad that I added onto the belly band of the signature that I'm actually working on. And then I just tucked the little notepad with the cluster and with a cluster belly band. So that's kind of fun. And then another thing is I made this little notepad here. It's just, basic little papers. And I did a fabric cluster of the Eiffel Tower here. So this is going to be obviously a travel theme signature, but look how fun that is, right? So there's so much fun to add to your signatures, belly bands. I showed you guys in my previous masterboard videos how to use them in tags. So I use them in this journal. This is the one we're giving away. So I just added, this is paper and fabric. So it's just a little, mixture of different patterns and stuff, but it's whatever you want to use. Your style is your style. So it could be whatever you want. So if you have, like everybody else does, piles and piles of paper and fabrics and stuff. So these are lots of fun. You can do sit on the couch. These are a sit on the couch craft because you can sit on the couch, grab your little pieces of paper, right? Grab all of your little itty bitty pieces of fabrics and laces or whatever. And then you can glue. You can always hand stitch these also because That's easy. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys some different ways to do these, but I'm going to glue them. So this is my little fabric and lace bin that I use. I just take stuff from there, but I have some stuff pre-prepared for you. Usually what I do, and this is something if you guys want to do, is this is an 8.5 by 11 paper pad. And usually what I do is I do long strips, go all the way along, all the way down. So I'll get like 4 strips from each one. So if you're making them in bulk, right? I'm not going to do all of this for you guys today because you bore you guys to tears. But I just want to show you what it would look like if you were doing them, right? So if you were, what you would be doing is just going all the way down the line. So let's do that. I'm not going to do all 3 of them. I just wanted you guys to see, you know, how it would look if you were doing them. So if you're sitting on the couch, you grabbing your scraps, right? Okay, so let's go. All right. Oh, in video number 1 of our sit on the couch crafts to sell and make, I showed you how to do these fabric and lace clusters. So they're just basically fabric and lace. We added some buttons and pearls, right? So this is the one set of clusters that I had shown you guys. Okay. And then I showed you guys how to do the 2 different types of clusters using master boards. So, okay. Let's go down. Let's cut a little strip here. I'll just show you guys a little bit. Just cut a little. It's usually about a 1-inch strip. I mean, you can obviously make them whatever size you want, because if you're using them for a belly band, you'd probably be making them, you know, bigger. So I'm just going to grab some fabrics here, some laces, right? And then some little pieces of paper. We can mix our fabrics and our papers. So, all right, I have some browns. This one's already made. Right, we're just going to stagger them like so. And if you want, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a piece of paper that's patterned on the back. So if it's not, you know, covering, you can, you know, still have a nice pattern piece. All right, so we could just stagger these guys. All right, so we'll get started here. We'll just add a little dab of hot. I'm just gonna hot glue these because, like I said, a lot of people saying that they don't sew. And they like to have the glue option. And the reason I'm not using liquid glue is because this is just to save time for the video, right? So we're gonna stagger. So we'll add a little fabrics, right? This is like a sheer type fabric. And we're just gonna go along and mix the different types. So if you wanted to do like a pattern to solid, you can always do that, right? So, and having those little paper scraps or using up your little paper scraps is perfect, because if you were making these, like usually what I'm doing is I'm taking these, I'm using a little glue stick, and then I'm just basting everything down, and then I'll take it over to the sewing machine and just sew down, you know, and then I'll make multiple pieces. I'll just, you know, sew all the way straight down, so you'll have one long roll. So for now, let's add some cool patterns. You know, they don't always have to be, you can do all different patterns, like, you know, like do a little section of browns and then do a little section, and then that's where you're just gonna tear it, right? So we're just gonna glue quick. This is just a little bit of fabric here. So if you are going to sew, I wouldn't use a liquid glue or a hot glue. That nothing will jam up your sewing machine like some liquid glue. So that's why I just say that I usually just when I'm sitting on the couch, I usually just use a basting glue, like a simple Elmer's glue or whatever, and then do it that way. And then when I'm ready to go to the sewing machine, you know, we're ready. Some of the fabrics have a hard time with the, don't stick as well with the, you know, the, what am I saying? The glue sticks. Yeah, so, and then we're just staggering these along. We're just gonna, we want to give a little some pattern paper. Let's see here, that one's already done here. We're just mixing it up a little bit. We'll add a little lace here. I'm just gonna go down, just down the line. I'm not gonna do the whole thing because I'm gonna bore you guys to death, but we'll just add some different patterns. And if there's something that you don't like, you're not happy with after you see it, you know, oh, I don't really like that. Guess what? You could just cover it up, right? And then we're gonna stagger some more. And this is actually pretty fun. If you're, you know, if you're gluing, you just sit on the couch with, grab your hot glue gun and your little plate of scraps here, right? And then that's it. I've added some cheesecloths. Let's see, let's give this a little color here, right? We'll do a little pink. And then you guys will know because if you are working on something specific, then, you know, you're working on a specific theme, like say you were doing a botanical type theme, you know, you could use all different colors. You can use your greens and your different colors. So, end off with a little lace here. I'll put a little book page on the bottom, stagger it up. And there you go. This is our fabric and lace. And it does, and these don't take long, seriously. The hardest part is just getting your little bits of papers and your little bitty pieces of fabrics and just, you know, cutting them up. You can spend one night just cutting up your papers, ripping them up, right? And then your little fabrics, your fabric pieces, you can just, you know, cut those up, and then you have your fabrics and laces if you want to use as an accent. So that wasn't hard, right? That was so easy. And these are great. Like I said, you can add them to a signature page, right? Let's see, we got a bigger page here, right? You could add it to the end of your page, right? So, and these are nice. These are just, you know, muted kind of colors here, but you know, add whatever you want. These are however you want to make them. So this is you know, so easy. These are fun. I actually love making these because there's so much, you use up so much of your papers and your scraps and stuff. So another little way of doing clusters is you can use, so for these guys here, these are, if you have those long strips of fabrics, right, like we all do when you're cutting off the ends of something, I just sew them. I just take them to the sewing machine and just sew right down the line, right? So another way of making clusters is you could take one of your little pieces of paper, right? You can cut off the end of, so this way you're using up your fabric scraps here and you're using up your paper and fabric. So now we're going to incorporate them together. So for this one here, I just cut off a little piece of one of these strips, and I took one of my little scrap pieces of paper, and we're just going to hot glue it on here, right? So now you're using your little bitty pieces of fabrics, all of your different little pieces, and you're using your little pieces of scrap paper, and you're using up the long pieces of you know, fabrics that you have from other different projects. So I just happen to have them, wrap them around the board. This is one, was one long wig, but you know, we cut them up to use them. It's amazing how much you use these. So now we have a little bit of our paper and our long strips. So I'm going to add some buttons and pearls so you guys can see how they would look with some accents on here. We'll just add some little beads here. In our clusters that we sell in our store, this is exactly what they look like. So now we incorporated two different concepts, right? We took our long strips here and we used the same concept here, except for we just have them on a bigger scale here, so, right? So here's one cluster using our paper and our longer strips, right? So that's one. And then you have the other one I showed you guys in the first video of the fabric and lace, right? So we have these two here, and that didn't take long, right? These are just scrap fabrics too that we just went right through the sewing machine, sewed all the way down. And you can hot glue these too, or you can use fabric fusion or whatever. It takes so long to glue to dry, whatever. So let's take our ones that we just did, right? And then we will, let's see, we'll cut it up. We'll rip it apart, right? We have a little cluster here, right? We have the paper backing. We just cut a little bit up. And then we will gussy it up. We'll put some, you don't have to add buttons and beads. I'm just showing you an idea of how they would look. Right, so we're just going to add a couple little beads here. I mean, little pearls. Right, so how cute is that? And you could do this once you have your strips made. You just go along and you could just keep tearing. The good thing about gluing rather than sewing is it's a lot easier to tear when you're just gluing. When you're sewing, you have to cut them with a scissor. So that's it. So there's two different options there. This was the original one I showed you, like I said, fabric and lace. This is the one we used our scrap paper from our little plate. And then I just took the long strips here. One of these long strips here. And we just cut them up. Right? And then we just put it right on top of our little scrap here. And then one that we did just tore right off. Oops, sorry. We just tore it right off of our, oh goodness. We just tore it off. So there's three different types of ways to make your clusters, right? And then this one in the video, I showed you how to sew the buttons and the pearls on, but you don't have to do it that way. You could just glue them. So that's three different ways of using clusters, of making clusters. Right? And then I showed you guys, like I said, in my two previous videos for master boards, I showed you how to use the, cut up your master boards and then just use those into clusters. So if you want to check out that video, that was a lot of fun to do. And those are easy. So that's really it. And don't forget, if you can also use, like you have the longer pieces of fabrics here, right? So what I did is I just took a longer piece of fabric that I had on one of these rolls, and then I just put a piece of, decorative paper over it, and I just sewed all the way down. So it gets rid of your longer strips of paper, which we all have, and your longer strips of your fabrics, right? So there we go. And they, like I showed you, they look great in just about anything. And once you have these done, you could just keep tearing them and decorating them, but and getting these done are so easy and fast. So look at all the clusters that you can make, how pretty they are. You can make them all different patterns and sizes. So I had one of these clusters with this pattern. I just cut up and made it into a smaller one with the paper on the back. So that's it. This is one with all fabric that, you know, just tore it up. So lots of options. It's all up to you how you want to make things, right? You can add all different patterns. You don't have to add buttons or pearls or anything. I just did it because I wanted to show you guys, you know, different ways of doing your clusters. So there's all different kinds, right? And look how much you could make and how much fabric you can use up. Fabric and paper you can use up both at the same time. 2 thumbs up, right? Whenever you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, it's awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to just share this with you because if I'm working on something, then you know I'm going to share it with you. So look at all the stuff that we made today. Look, been very busy today. So I hope you guys get started and enjoy this, because this is stuff you can do on the couch. You could do if you're on vacation, you're on the plane or a train or in the car, right? Well, not in the car, but unless you have an adapter for your hot glue gun, or you could just sew them, whatever. So we did good. We did real good. We have so much fun with these, and these are just awesome. And you'll be surprised how many times you'll use these in just about anything, in journaling, scrapbooking, use them on tags. Like I showed you, can make the long ones for belly bands. Just about anything. I put them on my little note cards. Sometimes I give these away free when customer places an order in our shop. I'll throw a couple of these in their order. So thank you so much for all of your support, everybody. And I got to get busy. I know I've done a lot of stuff, but I still have more to do. So again, we're using up, scrap busting our paper and our fabric at the same time. Kudos. So that makes me happy. Anyway, so I hope this inspires you, and that you can get some ideas and little cheaty ways to do some fun stuff. Okay? Thank you again so much. I will be talking to you real soon, because we have lots and lots of videos to make. So thank you again. Take care.